If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you could access up to $150,000 of capital for free at 0% interest rates to fund any business or investment that you want, all in the next 30 days. Chase's new program allows you to access up to $150,000 of free capital for your businesses and investments without needing any tax returns, bank statements, or pay stubs, and it doesn't require an upfront payment either. If that sounds interesting to you, I create a full case study analysis on this new program that Chase is offering.
All right, family, welcome, welcome. We're gonna skip introductions real quick. We're just gonna do a quick one because we have a new person in the building today that is gonna help Sifu Food do a little demonstration to help you guys out. For those of you that are new here, we're Enter Shaolin / Enter Tai Chi. This is our weekly free Kung Fu Q&A that we do to be able to share with you guys and gals what we do, which is our Ngo Dac Na system. And for those of you that have no idea what that is, Sifu Food is going to do a quick little demo, sharing some of the basic principles of that. And this will also help you guys that are always curious, what is the system about? What exactly do you people do? And it'll also help our new student out. So without further ado, Sifu Fu, take it away.
Okay, so first off, Ngo Dac Na is not a style, it's a system. And what it is it's understanding energy. So the main thing is we're learning how to manipulate and control energy as opposed to opposing energy, overcoming energy, or getting rid of energy. Our job is never to fight the person, it's to learn how to control the person. The best analogy I can give is the one guy who's strong, he's the gas pedal, the world's most powerful car. That's okay, we're the steering wheel. Our goal is not to fight the pressure, our goal is to control the pressure. So he can say how fast he wants to go, when he wants to go. That's okay, we're gonna tell him where to go when he uses it. So that's the main understanding of what we're trying to do. So NDN works on principles of energy, biomechanics. So it follows the science, okay? We don't make science adhere to our belief, we have to adhere to the science belief. So everything we do is based on the science of the human body, physics, energy, stuff like that. So to understand Ngo Dac Na, what is energy, right? What's the principle of energy? It wants to go the path of least resistance when it goes into motion. Okay, energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed, it only can be converted. So when we deal with pressure, when we deal with force, we don't want to try to get rid of it. We don't try to overcome it. We must convert it. Otherwise, that pressure becomes greater than us if we're weaker than them, or they can convert us if we don't know how to convert them. So our goal is to learn how to convert energy. So like I said, it's based on science. There's only two types of motion that exist in the universe, right? What are they? They're linear and circular motion. So that's the only type. Anything else is a combination between the two. So what do you get when you combine both linear and circular motion at the same time? We get a spiral. So we follow the science, like I said. So spiraling techniques are one of the best ways we learn how to control energy. We have forward pressure through the drive, so that the straightforward motion gives us our pressure, gives us our force, gives us our intent. The arcing motion allows us to take pressure off of us while we can still maintain pressure on the opponent. So I'm going to work with Mario. He's a new student here, so we're going to work on some basic principles just to show you what we do. So Mario's going to come, and we're going to work on some principles of energy, okay? When he throws a straight punch, give me a straight punch, his force is going this way. Is there any energy from here, 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 or any way 360 degrees around him? No, his force is only here. So the worst thing to do is to try to stop the pressure this way. So our best technique is to attack him from anywhere from 360 around motion. So when he throws a punch, I can rotate his energy off at the same time still coming in. We don't try to get hands out, we try to get our hands in. So mental state is we never go on defensive mode. We try to go offensive or counter-offensive techniques. We don't do defensive techniques. Defensive techniques basically tries to get rid of energy. Offensive techniques or counter-offensive techniques means we want to put on energy. So when he throws a straight punch, I don't try to move him off. That buys me an opening to the face where he can counterpunch me, or it doesn't allow me to attack him in time, which means he can react by pulling away or blocking or whatever he does. Our goal is to put pressure. So if he's punching me, right, I put the pressure right back on him at the same time. I don't try to get rid of hands, I try to get into hands. So our mental state is never to get hands out, it's always to get our hands in. So that's one of the things that we want to keep in mind. Our goal is to learn how to convert energy, never fight energy. When someone's trying to put force on us, so we'll do the side. Our goal is like grip me really tight if you can, two hands, okay? If we do this and we go like this is energy where we're opposing gripping pressure. Our goal is to always get energy in our wrist. Our wrist is our control, our arms are structure. So we have to have proper structural integrity, which means we have a base and drive. We have a saying, 3 proof is foolproof. 3 proof means point rule on one's focus. So shoulder drives to the elbow, elbow drives the wrist, wrist to the hold me to your cam area, okay? Don't let me go. If we go like this, see, this is my arm. My goal is to put energy into my wrist, so hold me tight. I'm going to create a base. I'm going to create, hold me tight. Don't let me do it. Don't let me do it. Don't let me do it. I'll create a drive. So I don't attack him on a line, because if I attack him on a line, he can always oppose me.
Mario, I don't really believe You're trying. I need you to like actually muscle, like with all your strength, like go for it. Like do not be shy.
The rule of science, right, says if we go in one direction, he can muscle me the other direction. That's why he can overpower me. So don't let me do it. So I went straight up, he went straight down. That's how he can oppose me. So we never attack on lines, we attack through arcs, and we attack through the wrist. I drive the energy past the point of contact, so hold me tight. Give me more strength. So I don't want to go into him. See how he engages if I go into his arm? I don't go into his arm. I drive to my wrist. So you can see I'm driving to my palm. Hold me tight. Hold me really, really tight. So drive to the palm. Don't let me go. If I go like it, I arc the wrist, makes it very difficult for him to find the line. That's why he can't overpower me. Now he can counter control me. He can learn how to use his wrist and counter control me. That's not strength, that's skill. But if he's muscling me where he just tries not to let me do it, where I go like this, he can lock. We learn how to control energy. So we can learn how to bring energy in. So this is the key of Ngo Dac Na. Our goal is never to fight energy, it's to learn how to connect to energy, control energy. So we have the 3 C's, right? Connect, form, control. We connect to a person who keeps punching me. I find a way to connect to the energy, keeps pushing the pressure. I find a way to control the energy, and I come in from that. So I don't try to overpower him. I learn how to convert him. Because if I'm trying to do this, I say, he's muscling me, and I go, muscle me. It's a struggle. So we don't want to force someone. We want to learn to control someone. Now, the control is always, like I said, through the torque. It's never through a line. That's why you can muscle me. If I go like this, don't let me take you to the side. Can you hold that if you can? Right? Don't let me take your side. No, I said hold it. Hold it. Good. See how you can hold that? That's a line, right? Don't let me take you if you can. Was I able to turn you? Could you hold it? Right. The reason why you can't is because there's no line. As soon as I push in a line, you go the opposite. See, as soon as I do that. Now, where's the line on a curve? Where's the line on a curve? It's always changing. That's why when I do this, I'll go slow. Hold me. Hold me. Hold me. Can you? No, because where's the line to fight? It's constantly changing. That's why you can't find the line. That's why you can't resist. As soon as I go into a line, now don't let me do it if you can. See, can you feel the line right there? How about now? So we always attack through the wrist. That's one of the things that we really are unique in what we do. We always use the wrist to make our control. We always use the wrist in the end to get our power. We got to still use the arms to go through it. So we don't drive shoulder to the hand. We drive shoulder to the elbow. Then we drive the elbow to the wrist, and the wrist turns on point. So when we hit, we don't throw the shoulders to the hand. We throw the shoulder to the elbow, and then the elbow to the wrist, and then the wrist turns on point. And that's how we get our power. We do it through the 3-proof. Okay, there's a lot of principles NDN uses. So we have a lot of rhyming principles and a lot of acronyms. So like a pop it, don't stop it, like we talked about today. We don't try to oppose the pressure. We learn how to direct the pressure through curves, never through lines. We always attack from the wrist through an arc, never a line from the arms. So arms are indirect in terms of attacking. Wrist is always direct on attacking. So like if you're giving me a push here, am I driving my arm to you, or am I driving my arm to my wrist right now? Push into me. Does that feel like I'm going to my wrist, or feels like I'm going to your arm?
To my arm.
Do it again. Did it feel like go to your arm, and feel like it went to my wrist, and my wrist took control? If I go like this, does it feel like I'm turning you, or feels like I'm pushing you?
Pushing.
Do it again. Okay? Now, power comes from the elbow first, not from the hands first. So this is why a lot of people tend to do this, and they tend to overthrow because they don't have a base support behind it. We have to have a base behind the hand to create our structure and our power. If the force is strong enough, what do? We convert the energy. That's what the wrist job is. So that's where the wrist allows the curve. The arm allows the drive. That's what allows us, gives us force towards the opponent. But if the opponent's putting it back on us, it's a wrist job to take the pressure off. So that's how we learn how to control energy without having to fight energy. We have to have structure in order to have control. Without structural integrity, there can be no control. So you have to have the base and drive behind your arms to create the structure, create intent, to create force, to create power. You have to have the wrist to control that power and to control the opponent. So wrist has 3 functions, right? So it has the ability to convert energy, control energy, and focus energy. That's what the job of the wrist is. The arm's job is to create pressure, to create structural integrity, to create intent, to create force. So combining it, that's the hard and soft of yin and yang. So just a little bit of philosophical view is there's no such thing as soft, okay? This is an argument I've gone with a lot of people. There's no such thing as soft, okay? So that's why soft styles can't win over hard styles, because there's no such thing as soft. They try to create soft styles, and they say it's a soft style. It's not. You cannot fight soft by soft. Soft is not the ability to bend and blah, blah, blah. That's garbage, okay? Do you ever hear of the laws of thermodynamics? Do you understand the laws of thermodynamics? There's no such thing as cold. What is it? It's the absence of heat. So that's a law of thermodynamics. There's no such thing as cold. It's the absence of heat. The more heat you take away, the colder it gets. That's why when you put a warm soda and you put ice in there, why does it get cold? Because the ice absorbs the heat. And that's exchanged, the ice melts. That's how thermodynamics works. There's no such thing as soft. It's only the absence of hard. So if I want to be softer, I don't go as hard. Soft is not something you control. It's a byproduct of what you control through hardness. So if I want to be softer, I don't go as hard. It's not something I control. It's a byproduct of what I'm doing based on the hard side. So our soft is not to absorb energy. It's to convert energy. So you don't want to like give me a punch where you try to be soft, okay? I'm always hard somewhere. I'm just not as hard. So soft is not the ability to absorb energy, which is wrong because you're taking the energy in. Soft is the ability to convert energy, not to absorb energy. So this is where the misconstrue of philosophy of hard and soft. Soft styles don't work because it doesn't exist. It's only less hard. It's not softer. Okay? People use soft as in to absorb energy. You don't ever want to absorb energy, not when a guy's punching fast and hard. You have to meet him with some type of force, and the difference you convert. That is yin. That is the object of yin and yang. When you look at the yin and yang symbol, they cycle. One doesn't get harder as and go away. It exchanges as it gets harder. There's a soft. They balance each other out. So you're not absorbing because you're taking more. Our job is to convert it, not to absorb it. Because if you're absorbing, you're taking it in. And so you're receiving the energy. Well, then what happens when there's more than you can take? You're dead. You have to convert energy. That's what soft is. So in yin and yang, it's what we do is we convert energy. So like push me. So yeah, push me. So if I go like this is bad. Like push me. This doesn't work. I have no structure. Push me again. Do you feel me fighting you? Or do you feel structure and I convert? The difference I convert. Like here, muscle me. Like if I do this, like it'd be hard for me. Do it again. No. Here, push into me. No. Push into me, I said. Do you see that? Am I stopping energy or am I controlling energy? Right? So our soft is actually the ability to convert, not to absorb. We never want to absorb energy because you allow him to take pressure into you. It can be more than you can handle and you wind up collapsing. You have to maintain your structure, whatever you have, the difference you convert. That is yin. Yin is the ability to convert, not to absorb. So that's one of the bad things that people do when they go soft style. Soft style doesn't work at all. Gotcha. Okay? So if you're meeting someone's punch, you can't absorb. You have no idea what it is. You have to have some type of force to create structure. Like I use the analogy of soft is like having a steering wheel made of ice cream on a hot summer day. You can grab it, but when you try to turn it, can you turn the wheel or do you think it's just going to melt because there's no structure for you to create the influence? You have to have some form of structure in order to create influence. So you have to have some type of hardness. And what's the difference? You convert. That's your yin. Yang is your structure. That's what the arm is. Wrist is your yin. That's where you convert. That's the balance of what Ngo Dac Na does. It's the control of energy. If your force is greater, it's like, what happens when your force is greater than mine? I convert the difference. I don't fight the difference. And this is what we call challenge. Like we just did this, right? Where push my elbow, use both your arms, and bend my elbow to your chest. If I fight that, you can overpower me. So I can't win. So what do I do? Take me down if you can. Try. Come on. Try. Mario, try. Force it down. Can you or can you not? No. So what's feel? Does it feel like I'm fighting you? Or do you feel like you're getting stuck every time you add more pressure? And the reason why you feel stuck is because every time you add more pressure, that pressure is coming back to you. Not against you. Back to you. The against means that I have to overpower your strength. Coming back to you means I just have to direct it. That's why I'm not straining. That's why you can keep doing it until you can. That's why I can do this. Force it down. That's why I can force it, Mario. Don't quit. Come on, try it. Everything you got. That's why I can talk like this. I'm not straining because, again, this isn't about me fighting his energy. It's about me converting energy. So I have to expend more energy. I have to maintain what I have and the difference I convert. That's what Ngo Dac Na system is. It's about being able to connect to someone's energy, control someone's energy without having to overpower them, without being harder. You can go faster than them, that's fine. But you can't try to be more forceful than them because if they're stronger, the variable is not good for you. If you're stronger than them, yeah, it works. But when he's twice your size, twice your strength, it's not going to work. So anyone can put more pressure on anybody and make it work, yes, because you're physically superior if you're trying to use strength for strength. But what happens when he's twice your size, twice your strength? You can't win that way, but you can steer him. I've demonstrated, I think I've done this with you. Open your hand like this. Push me backwards. Ah! If I push you, that hurts me because I'm opposing. My fingers are stronger than your palm. Push me backwards now. Push me backwards. Why are you going backwards? Because every time you push in, I'm bringing it back to you. Every time you add that pressure when you're pushing into me, I'm taking the energy, I'm going to bring it right back to you. But if I do this, that's opposing. That's why I can overpower. But do it again. No, push me. Push me backwards. And you see I'm directing it back to you, so no longer am I fighting a line, I'm actually converting the energy back to you as opposed to opposing you. And this is the basis of Ngo Dac Na. It's our ability to understand how energy works, how our body works with it, and how to manipulate energy through the wrist and have the structure through the arm to be able to do so. Okay?
I got
so,
it, yeah.
yes, no problem. All right, Mario.
All right, see.
All right, thanks for being here.
See you later. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that intro to Ngo Dac Na. And hopefully Mario left with some new wisdom as well. So let me go and do our normal thing and see who's in the chat and say hello. And for those of you that just joined, I'm CJ Jamie, your host. This is Sifu Fu. We're Enter Shaolin / Enter Tai Chi. Welcome, welcome. All right, so right now we have Fernando on. Good to see you, Fernando. And we have Errol coming in from London, the UK. We also have Caesar on. He says, hi, family. Happy to be here one more time. So he is, oh, now you're in Colorado? All right. You're all over the place. That's cool. All right. And then Robin's coming in from Sweden and said, I would love to visit you guys someday. Well, we would love
to have you here.
Come on over. All right. Ed says, good day all, USA here. And don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, if you haven't already, please strike the like. Make sure you hit subscribe and tap that bell for notifications as well. All right, and if you feel inclined, please do share as well to your favorite platform so we get the word out. We also have Shalom on, who does have a question, so we'll get to that here in a moment. And then Seven said, true, that's how they describe Iceman's abilities in the X-Men movies. Talking about something you said earlier. And lots of thumbs up from Seven as well. And then Seven also says, yes, dissolve or melt. I just learned a new word. Soft would claim delinquents, so another way to say soft. And then Matthew says, hi, Sifu, is keeping lead hand and rear out. Okay, so I'll get to you in a moment, Matthew. I'm going to go to Shalom's first question, and then I'll get to you, which is the second question. All right, so Shalom says, hi, guys. Sifu, about punching the face, what is better, fist or palm strike?
It depends on where, like, if you're punching on the side of the face, fist is better. If you're punching from the, like, his mouth area where his teeth is, it's better to use your palm. Not because it's more destructive, it's because you don't want your fist to hit his teeth where his teeth can embed into your knuckles. You might be fine, but if that guy's got some type of disease, you'd be like, oh gosh, I got to a doctor. I don't know what I got. So it's much better to strike palm, like in his mouth area. But if you're going to punch him inside the face, corner, like it's better to use your fist. You can use your palm. I'm not saying you can't, but your fist can generate a smaller surface area of hitting, where you can turn the top two knuckles into even the top knuckle to hit, which can generate more pounds per pressure per square inch. Whereas your palm, it's not unless you hit with the side of your palm like this. But if you're hitting with the flat of your palm, you cannot focus it to a small point. You cannot, cup your hand to this little tiny thing like that to make it work. So unless you're turning towards the condyle point between your thumb and your pinky side. So if you're going to palm strike from the heel of the palm, then yeah, you could do that, and that would work well because it is a small surface area to hit. Again, both can generate a lot of power. They can both, because you're still, if you're doing the Ngo Dac Na way, you're snapping your wrist. It's not about throwing the shoulder into it. It's about basically getting the base and to get the wrist to snap. So as long as you can get a small surface area to hit, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Like punching with the top two knuckles, you can turn the top two, or you can turn it even to the mid or the top of the knuckles, turning how you want to. But with the palm, like I said, if it's like this, it's too much of surface area. But it is a better way to strike the palm to the face. If you're going to the teeth area, it's better for the palm because you don't want the injury. Because like I said, even if the teeth hit your palm, it's not likely to rip your flesh out because it is more meat, it can absorb it,
right.
whereas this is bone on bone, so it can just do damage into your bones. So in terms of power, it is equal in terms of if you're going to heal the palm or the top two knuckles, you can snap your wrist in any way to make it work. In terms of if you strike in the area, I wouldn't want to take the top two knuckles and hit along their teeth because it could be embedded in my knuckles. So if you're hitting in terms of the size of the face, like it, palm, fist, doesn't matter. If you can hit them towards like the mouth area, you know, it's better to strike them like right in front of the teeth. It's better to strike with your palm. You can still knuckle from the side because their lips and their cheeks going to cover it. But if you hit more to the front like this, like here, their mouth could probably split from the pressure from the punch, but it'll wind up being embedded in the teeth. And that's not what you want. Unless you don't care about, you know, getting that in your knuckles, you don't care about any disease or anything, then that's fine. But me, personally, like I said, I'd use my fist, but I wouldn't strike in front of the face. I strike it from the side, around, or the nose up. But again, if I am going straight towards their face, around the teeth area, I would use my palm more.
All right, hopefully that helps you. And hey, Matthew, I'm sorry, I gotta put your question on pause for one more moment because Caesar sent us some super chat love. For those of you that don't know, if you send us some super chat love by hitting that little $ down there in the chat area, that means your question jumps to the head of the line because that helps support what we do here at Inner Shaolin. So thank you, Caesar. Love you, brother. So he said, in Tai Chi breakdown, what about single whip? Can we do some single whip, please?
The breakdown of it, the application of it, or both?
Let us know.
I would do the breakdown of it, and then I can show you the application of it if you want to. Just respond and let me know. What single whip is it is a palm turn to control the body and an arm out. So both have its purpose and its application. So single whip is taken after the push. So when you're going like from here, like this, single whip is this curve here, rotation here, this way and this way, like this. So if you want me to do a breakdown, let me know. So if we're gonna do a breakdown, I don't know if he put yes, no.
He has not commented yet.
Okay.
So let's just do a quick breakdown and we'll go from there.
Okay. So single whip, okay, it's taken after the push. The hands are flat when you turn your waist and everything. You don't want to go pushing your fingers over the side. You don't want to pull back in your shoulders. You must create this base with your elbows. You got to learn how to turn your wrists with the waist. Rotate your wrist inside. So this one has to make a circle on the inside like you're in a tube. This one will flip like you're inside a tube. So you're going to flip your wrist. And then you want to keep, when you're turning, you put your weight on your left leg.
If we can have you move back just a tiny bit so we can see your feet all the way. There we go.
So
Perfect.
when you're doing this and you're turning, you want to keep your weight on your left leg. You don't want to put any on your right because you don't want to put any weight there. You don't want to stress out your leg, stress out the knee, stress out the ankle when you're turning. So you put it all into your left leg, like 99% to 100%. You don't want to be 100%, but like 99%. And here, when you go to here, you want to articulate your wrist. You don't shift your weight over until your wrist is ready to go to the other side. During that time, when I bring it in my wrist, I will shift my weight to the right side of my leg. I will keep the energy in the wrist. A lot of people tend to do this and they rotate it up in their shoulders. You must keep the energy into your wrist and bend it. A lot of people get to this point and they start rolling it back in the shoulders. That's a no-no. You can't let energy go back in the shoulders. Energy must always go to the wrist. So when you're doing this, again, I want to heel the palm here at the back of the wrist with my right hand, heel the palm on the left. And as I get to the rise, I don't roll it up in my shoulder. I actually will torque the wrist and get the elbow to bend. So you can see I'm kind of like doing this. Notice how my elbow doesn't move. I just pivot from the elbow. Same thing, I do this. I'm not moving my elbow up in my shoulders. I'm just pivoting from my elbow. So when you're doing this, you pivot from the elbow. The base should be strong. You should have this down. Shoulder should be down. Elbow should be down here. Once you're like this, the right hand's like pinching salt. The left hand's like catching the salt. Okay? When you're ready, you should have all your weight go to your right leg. You should be on your left front ball. When you're ready, you will articulate your wrist. So I'm going to point my fingers towards my rib cage, so to speak. And that's going to allow my motion to start this motion where I'm going to follow it, where I'm going to bring the path down my forearm to my elbow. And once I get to my elbow, I'm going to lift up my leg and set this where my elbow and my knee is aligned. So when I'm like this, when I'm ready to come this way, I want this knee to be aligned to the elbow. Once I'm set like this, my hands here, here, when I'm ready to turn, I'm going to turn. If I'm facing north, okay, I want to face southwest. So I want to go from north to southwest. So let's say I'm facing north right now. Okay, so this is north where I'm facing you. I want to go southwest, so the back of my rear corner here. So I want to start here. My elbow and my knee is going to line, and I want to turn my wrist and my waist together, and I want to put my heel down without moving my weight. So a lot of people do this and they tend to fall. That means they weren't properly centered. You want to keep your center and learn how to put your leg down. The test that you could do is you can bring your leg down and up. If you feel you have to shift your weight back and forth, then you actually fell. If you have to move back to bring up your leg, then you didn't do it right. You're supposed to be able to turn, sit your leg down, and not throw your weight. Once I put my heel down, and it goes from heel to heel. So I want to go this, if I'm facing north, I want to go southwest from my heel. So I can't go past my heel this way or front of my heel this way. It has to shoot from the heel southwest. Okay, and once I put my heel here, I want to plant my toe, and I'm going to rotate my wrist while holding the base. So my elbow and my knees align, they move forward while my wrist turns forward with that motion like this. Okay, this hand just literally stays here, and the base and the energy is staying up in the wrist. It can't drop down, it can't draw like this. It has to feel like there's like I'm trying to do a thumbs up, but I'm not gonna. I want to keep that energy in the back of my wrist, and I want to keep my hand here. I want to go to a 70-30, and when I'm shifting my weight forward, my foot will turn 45 degrees towards my center. And I have my woo like hand like this, and I have like this, and my body posture like that. That's the single whip breakdown. Okay.
All right, and you would like.
I just did that.
We would also like an application, please.
Okay, so single whip is to teach you how to create structure for a mid-range to a long-range fight. So if one of the things that you can do is this part here is actually an arm bar. Okay, so she's gonna punch me, right? She gives me a right punch.
Okay.
This here, I can actually literally go like this and turn and break her arm down, which is my body going
That would not be cool.
this way like this. So I'm
don't do
sending
that.
energy this way. So it allows me to keep my posture this way.
Can we do it like from a different angle so they can see like as you're doing the pull, maybe?
Well, again, it can be off of a grab.
Okay.
So this, this part here, that's this part here. So now I can take her arm this way, and I can just send it that way. So this is that part that you're turning. If someone's grabbing your wrist, this is the application. It's to create this turn and hook, and push here. I want to send the energy in my palm, rotate to the back of my wrist this way, and then I can bring her down this way, like that. So that's like that one part of that turning of your arm this way, where you're doing this. So that's like that one part. Again, it's not, your form isn't to teach you how to fight in sequential order. It's to teach you how to move your body's energy. So you can move it if the energy calls for it, you know how to move it right. So it's not like, oh, I have to fight you, I have to go like this, I have to go like this, and I have to do this. It's not about that. So one of the things, like she's punching me, here's a single whip move, like boom, this is a single whip here. That part where you're going like this, or you're turning this way, that's me going like this, and going like this, and just moving the hand out. And this hooking of the hand is actually a slight pull. So that here, like this is the timing between your body doing like this. Okay, that's me hooking and rotating on this. So if she's punching, I'll do it slow. It's like, see here, and then this is my hit here. She throws a hook punch, I could and do this. So again, it's me bringing the hand up. This part that hooks like this, it's to teach me how to create structure. If she's punching me, she gives me force. Give me some force. So this structure I have structure, I have control. It's not about fighting. It's about holding the pressure, not fighting the pressure, and I convert the difference. So she's punching me. Single whip is like this and going in at the same time, creating this structure here. So that's one of the ways. Or if she's grabbing me, this is like single whip here. So you see the hands are going like this. So I'm just moving my arms like this, so you can see it like that. So if she's grabbing, again, you don't follow sequence. You don't go like she's grabbing, go. Like this, again, Forms are not made so you fight in that sequential order.
Yes.
It is made so you can learn how to move the energy in your arms and your legs and through your body. So form is never about mimicking the motion. It's understanding how to control the motion. So forget following sequence and this and that. Well, aren't you supposed to like that? In a fight, unless the guy's fighting exactly the way it's designed to move, it won't work.
Which is probably like a zero chance that that's happening. You probably would win the lotto first. Okay.
So our goal is to teach her how to understand how to project the energy right. So like I said, if she's grabbing me, I can put my hands up like this. And again, this is my single whip. So as you can see, like, this is the single whip here. So you can see this is my hand position here. But it's about me learn how to put my energy out. So when she's grabbing me, see, I can now put the energy this way. And see this hand here? That's my hooking hand. Here's my striking hand. And this is my body moving in. So again, this is me learn how to project my energy right in my movement.
Right.
So this is the basis of like you see pieces of Tai Chi for the single whip. This is how I can do different movements. But again, the structure, the energy control is always right because I know how to base, I know how to drive, I know how to root, and that's why you practice doing that. Everything you do is like this. You know, you don't throw your body. And she's come at me slow. You can see I'm rooting myself down. I'm bringing my energy up. So you can see my elbows coming out here. You see that? And you can see when I bring the energy up, you can see my wrist make the turn. So you can see how I just move my body in. And I'm finding my root. Again, I didn't throw after. I just went into my points. And that's going to result in me getting the energy and the power out of it. Power doesn't come from overcoming someone's energy. It learns how you can focus the energy, how you can connect the energy. That creates your timing. So, and then your control is basically your wrist, how to focus the energy. So this is what you practice all the time, learning how to create your movement in Tai Chi, in Silam Tao, in animals, it doesn't matter. The end-to-end way is always about getting the structural integrity through the arms and the control through the wrist. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't care if you did karate, I don't care if you did judo, I don't care. It works the same. Energy is energy. It's not based on culture, it's not based on beliefs or religion or anything. It's based on energy. Okay, it doesn't matter what you believe, it's science. Okay, hope that answered your question.
I think it did. And if not, Caesar, we'll follow up more in the members only one. So let me go back real quick. I did see Kogler has a question about Tai Chi, but I do want to honor Matthew being next in line. So let me go up here real quick. We still have a little bit of time. I think we should get to everyone else's question. Matthew says, hi, Sifu, is keeping the lead hand in rear out better for using their momentum against them? If so, why is that?
Well, there's different theories, okay? They say that you're better having your dominant hand in front because it's your first line of defense. You don't want them breaking closer to you. You'd rather keep them attacking the first line. If that breaks, then you have your rear to back up, and then you can bring your lead hand back again. If you have it behind, you're actually letting them close to you because you're not as comfortable with your non-dominant hand. You're not as fast, you're not as powerful, you're not as in control. So it's always better to have your dominant hand out because you can intercept them, where you can strike them better. You can use that to strike again. So that's why. Now, in boxing, they tell you to put your dominant hand to the rear, so you can, but again, they are boxing. It is a style.
Right.
When you go into like kicking and you're punching and you're elbowing, it's a different story. Yes, I'm not taking away boxing. Boxing's good. They do have power. Again, they use the lead hand to create like jabs and everything, and then they use a power hand in the rear to punch. Now, again, you're not allowed to strike the arms. You're not allowed to strike towards the legs, the groin. Everything is all about hands, so there's limitations. This is why you can do what you do. It's a different story when you have outside factors that goes into it. Grapplers, again, it becomes harder to do because they're not fighting your way. They're going down to the bottom. They're taking you to the ground. Kickers will attack your legs. So yes, you can have your rear hand powerful. Yeah. I'm not going to take anything away with that because it does. It's effective. Boxing is a very effective system too. So, but Bruce Lee and always believe in having the strong hand first, and so do I. I believe I'd rather have my hand in front that's strong, because when you throw a punch, I would use that to strike you.
Makes sense.
I would use that to intercept. I would rather use my more powerful hand to create more damage on impact than to use my weak hand and try to set up my strong hand. Now, again, boxing isn't about striking the arms. It's not about blocking or deflecting or anything like that. Boxing is about striking. So yes, it works because that's their principle, that's their system, why they have the strong hand back, because they use their hands to set up, they use their hand to keep the person's distance away. They have this harder for them to see, harder for them to
And you're more
control.
about just striking to begin with.
Yeah, and it's all about
versus-
striking. So
Yeah.
it works great. I'm not going to take it away from it. But again, When you learn how to do other factors like grappling, weapon striking, when you learn how to do locking, when you learn how to do kicking behind, it's going to be a different story. I'd rather have my strong hand out so I can do more damage if they're going to kick me rather than have my weak arm out. I'd rather do it. Plus, I can follow. So I'll follow through with my weak hand to create strike, followed by the strong hand. So if I move my arm like this, I can use that and bring the follow with my strong hand anyways. So it's not like because it's in front of me, I can't have power. I can use the power to set up with a rear hand to a lead hand back again. So you can always do that. Again, it's up to you. I'm not going to say one's better. It's a matter of your preference on how you use it. That's what is my best advice. If you want your power hand to be the rear so you can set up with a setup jab like boxing does, it works great because that should be the way. But if you're doing where you can hit arms, where you can attack legs, it's better to have your dominant side forward because you want to be aggressive and you want your power hands to be able to snap. Like we don't need that throwing of the body. We need the base drive and snap. So we don't need to have it in the rear. We can generate power from the lead hand. So I don't need to throw my body. I can have it right here and generate power just from the base of the snap from that. So like I said, we hit like a knife. We don't try to hit like a sledgehammer. Whereas like when you're an externalist, you're trying to hit like a sledgehammer, which is nothing wrong. But again, when a guy's twice your size, it becomes more difficult to beat that guy. You want to hit like a knife because nobody can take a knife stab. Unless if they can, then our hits are ineffective because it's not going to do anything because they can take a knife stab. Our goal is to do penetrating type of hits, not compression type of hits. Most external styles are compression type of hits. They flatten out the surface area. We don't want to flatten out the surface. We want to put a hole in the point at which we hit. So it's a different way we approach it and everything.
Right on. Right on. LT Nimby said, keep frame and let the opponent determine point of contact. Cesar Lopez said, thank you, Sifu, and he put a bunch of cool emojis. Hey, if you want to be like Caesar and have your name highlighted to green and have those special emojis, just click the join button under this video and join the $4.99 pro YouTube membership for Enter Tai Chi's channel. You'll get some special exclusive content. You'll get some cool stuff like your name highlighted anytime you're online or making a comment on any of our videos. And you get some really cool little bonus emojis as well that only those members get. And you help support us to do what we do. So thank you to all of our supporters. We love you all so much. Let me go ahead and go back through this real quick. Kagler, is Tai Chi gentle Kung Fu? Is Kung Fu being aggressive Tai Chi? I said everything is Kung Fu, and Kung Fu is everything. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. First of all, Kung Fu actually just means accomplished effort. So yes, it traditionally, as far as like most people in the world, when they think of Kung Fu, they think of martial arts. It's not a specific style. Tai Chi rather would be a specific style of Kung Fu. And Tai Chi, while it can be very gentle, can also be very aggressive as well. It's called the ultimate grand fist. So here, obviously, you've probably figured that out. Here at Enter Shaolin, Enter Tai Chi, we do actually teach the actual fighting applications of Tai Chi. And if you've ever been hit by a cotton fist in Tai Chi, I promise you're not going to think it's very gentle. You're going to think it's pretty aggressive. Just throwing that out there. And then Seven said, that looked like dragon. All right, cool. And then...
Oh, the single whip?
Yeah.
Oh, there are so
many similarities.
There's only so many moves you can make.
In Tai Chi, Wing Chun, there's a lot of the animals.
They all have the same type of movements. There's linear circular motion, whether I strike my forearm, my hand, where I shape like this, where I shape like this. This is a dragon system, this is a tiger system. It's not that much of a difference.
Right?
But the combination of the move, the culmination of how we move, that's what makes the style.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good points. Seven also said, I wonder if they fought exactly like the forms way back when in the Jing Dynasty. You know, maybe in the movies.
Nobody fights exactly like the form. That's absurd to do that. Again, the form is to teach you how to move properly. It's not to fight in sequential order. That we learn sequential orders because it's a way of passing down techniques from teacher to student. That is one of the things why we do forms. The other reason why is to teach muscle memory, proper techniques, stuff like that. So it is to teach you how to do muscle memory movements, to teach you how to coordinate. There's some physicality that helps you stay in shape depending on the style. Like the animal styles, it's really physically demanding, so it's good for that. The forms are there, so like I said, it's to teach you muscle memory, it's to teach you the proper techniques, right? It's to teach you how to develop the techniques that's been passed down from teacher to students. It's all that you need to learn is in your form. It's been passed down, the techniques that way. So if you have a good teacher, he can break down the form and teach you how to use it. A great teacher will teach you to understand the form and let you express the movement, not repeat the movement.
Yep.
Hopefully that helps.
Baki says, can enough Tai Chi and Qigong replace foam rolling and stretching, get the flexibility, muscle massage, and relaxation? Well, Qigong, you're going to get relaxation, obviously, and there is some level of stretching through the Qigong. Same with Tai Chi, you're going to get some relaxation, you're going to get some stretching, but it depends on what type of stretching you're talking about. If you're talking about deep stretching, then it's not going to replace that. It's not. And then foam rolling, that's a completely different thing. You're literally applying pressure to the fascia and the tissue and removing, like literally rolling out, like, stagnant, energy, as well as like if there's any like inflammation and water retention going on. So I would not say it replaces that, but it would be something that would be good to add to that. And I would also say that Tai Chi and Qigong has way many more benefits than those two things too. Would you like to say anything about that, Sifu?
Well, I always talk about it depends on what your goal is.
Yeah.
What are you trying to get out of it? If you are trying to get more stretching, yoga is probably the better way to do it. It is a better stretching format to get you to be very, very flexible. Tai Chi gets a certain range of flexibility. It's not going to get you what yoga
Not the same.
gets you.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So,
Depends on the type of stretching.
In terms of relaxation, Tai Chi is one of the probably most, and yoga too. They're both
Qigong.
very beneficial in relaxation. Tai Chi can get your body to be like release yourself of stress.
Real chill.
So it does develop blood flow. It does develop more power in your body. It is designed to relax the body so you get more blood flow in your body, which actually is what you need to regenerate your cells, your organs, all that stuff. So it's good
Clear
that
the
way.
meridian lines.
It does develop proper core. Like it does have good stuff behind it. So again, it depends on what your ultimate goal of what you're trying to get out of it is. Tai Chi is like the accompaniment of everything that you want. Relaxation, flexibility, strength, range of motion.
Core stability.
Yeah, so it's like it has all that entailed. But is it the strongest of them all for one aspect? No, it's not. But it is it entails everything that you could use or want in terms of health.
Right.
Like I said, if you're like, I just want to be flexible, I want to do splits, I want to do like all these crazy stuff, yoga is the better way to do it. Now, if you're like, well, I want to have all that, but I want to learn to fight, then Tai Chi is not the way to do it in the short term. It's good in the long term, but not good in the short terms. So again, it all comes down to your ultimate goal of what you're trying to get out. What is your goal? If you're like, well, I want to fight fast, I would not recommend Tai Chi as your first system. It should be your long-term investment.
Yes.
You want something, a short-term investment to combat fast. Okay. So you could take MMA, you could take boxing, you could take whatever that you find is good for you, you can, because they are the short-term investments. Like you take Wing Chun, it's a really good short-term investment. Krav Maga, all these systems that can be very, very good for short-term investment. But Tai Chi is the long-term investment.
Yeah.
It's what you want to wait for the longer time.
Yeah, I would say, if you do other deep stretches, add that into what you do. I wouldn't say, I think that it's good to be well-rounded. You want to add different things. Like if you like to jog, do some jogging, but don't go, oh, I'm going to rebound and I'm never going to jog, or I'm never going to do any other, cardio and stuff. It's good to have multiple forms of different things to work the body in different ways. One, it creates muscle confusion. Two, it helps you to be more well-rounded as a martial artist, but as well as just being physically fit. So I would say keep doing the foam rolling, because that's something completely different, and it's just going to enhance the effects of your foam rolling. So think of it that way. It's adding on to what you're already doing and making those things better versus just replacing those things. That's how I look at it. Seven said, the first time I saw aggressive Tai Chi was in the forms of the TV show Kung Fu Quest. Oh, yeah. All right. I like that. We did some stuff on that before. I like that. Good stuff. And then Seven said, and we'll answer this really quick because unfortunately we got to wrap it up. We have our members only webinar coming up literally in a couple of minutes here. He said, what kind of advice would you give towards being surrounded by multiple attackers?
I can answer this. I know Sifu Larry would want to answer because he went through it. I've been through it. I've been through multiple attacks. So the basic principle is they tell you, hit the biggest guy you can. Look, my answer is hit the closest guy you can. It's one less person that you could take down, and if you hit him really well, shock them, you could bring a shock to other people. In multiple fighting, I tell people always put one person as a shield to put him in between you and others. Don't let them surround you. always have one person as a shield when you're fighting. And what I mean by that is if you're in control, get him close to you. If he's trying to fight tight and you're told, use him to be in the way from other people from attacking you. Don't just leave yourself open where they can attack you from 360 degrees around. I never want people to surround me. So if they're both like attacking me here,
great.
I don't want them to be here where they're in between
I think
me.
I'm going to be the shield, bro.
Like what I'm saying is I don't want them to be in between me.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do?
Well, not for that.
What now, Sifu?
So
No.
You surrounded, boy?
I would do like a V shape, so that way I could turn left and right, but I never have them take me from my backside or my flank
Right,
side. So if they are like two people, I would do like a V. I would step backwards. Every
back
time they
and
try to get around
them.
me,
Yeah.
I create a V. Now, if someone wants to move close to me, I will make the first attack. I will attack somebody within my range. You know, they say always hit the biggest guy you can, so if you can knock him down fast.
You're going out.
The other people are afraid, but the problem is if you hit them and you don't affect them, then everyone's going to jump in like this guy's nothing.
If you hit somebody as hard as you can,
You better
and
be.
they look at you,
Just run.
Just run.
So when you do this, you do never want to be surrounded.
Yeah.
If someone gets close, strike him first, and I would bring him to me where I can use him as a
Ask
shield.
questions later.
All right, but Sifu Larry can give you his
Strike
experience
first, strike
too.
hard.
I had fought when I was at the shore. We had 40 guys versus 5 of us. So I can tell you another time. See, I know Sifu Larry wants to tell the story that he told me, and it's a really good story.
I don't know what story he's talking about. I have
You
seen
know
it. Which
the
one?
guys that took your guitar, reached into your guitar in your truck and got your guitar.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Okay.
Now look, here's what I'm going to say, because you attack. Most people don't attack. Most people can't fight. People talk like this. A lot of people talk really big, and they fight people who don't know how to fight. If you practice and you train in martial arts, just attack. You know, I'll tell you a story. My dad told me a story once about how when he was in the war, soldiers would be on the battlefield and they would get killed, and oftentimes when they would collect these dead soldiers, they would look at the weapons and they were never fired. The guns were never discharged. Just do something. Most people just get hurt. They get hit.
They panic. Yeah.
They don't respond.
Adrenaline dump.
It's good to train, but you know what? There's people who train and still don't understand. This is why the UFC became so popular. This is why mixed martial arts became so popular and traditional martial arts stopped being popular. Is because in the traditional martial art camp, people aren't really dealing with real violence. And because of that, when real violence wants to deal with them, they freeze. In my case, Sifu taught me very specific skill set when I first started training with him. I was terrible. When the story he's talking
I'll
about...
say.
Yeah, thanks.
Was.
Thanks, Sifu. At that time period, which is a lot decades ago,
Almost 30 years
I only knew how to
ago.
straight punch and cycle punch, and I knew some packs and some things. And I had 3 guys literally steal my guitar out of the back of my truck, and I had to deal with that. And my way of dealing with it was just to attack. And those 3 dudes had no idea that a dude would just come at them in such a way. I bet you it was the ugliest thing you ever seen. But one hit, people couldn't take one hit, right? They just dropped. And that wasn't the only time that I had situations where people just down. In fact, he hit me so hard without trying to hurt me. If from that moment forward, I would be like, dude, I would just crawl and on my knees and beg you not to kill me, because I never felt something hurt so bad. And I've been hit by, when I was a kid, by adults. When I was in high school, I got into fights. As a young adult, I got into fights. Just as a demonstration, he hurt me more. The punch that I felt lasted weeks. It lasted weeks. And that's what sold me. That's why I kept going. That's why I went back to the school, because I'm like, no human being has ever hit me like this. I have to understand how to do it. And I think that people are always worried, what do you do against multiple opponents? What do you do against this? What do you do against that? You fight, right? And you're not going to know what you're going to do, but if you don't do something, you're going to get killed. And you don't want that. So just attack.
Just attack.
You know, honestly, bite their throat off. Or out. Why not?
That's one way to go about it. All right. Well, thank you for that, Sifu Larry. Ralph said it was good to see you. All right, family, we're going to wrap it up with you guys. Sorry to our other family members for InnerShaolin.com. We will see you guys in a couple minutes. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your Saturday. Peace, blessings.
went by quick.
God bless. And we'll see the members in a few minutes on Zoom. Bye, everyone.